Wow. Are we in trouble or what?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to call to order the Zion Park District regular meeting for June 21st. Okay, would you please read the roll call?
Commissioner Pye?
Yeah.
Commissioner Brown?
Here.
Commissioner Magiera? Commissioner Rivers? President Hartnett?
Here. Can I ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the Personnel and Finance Subcommittee meeting and the meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Zion Park District dated 16 June 2022.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, now, our visitors. Well, first of all, thank you for coming. So, if Mike or sir, are you here to discuss some things, or?
Just taking notes.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Mike is
Mr.
gonna-
McDowell?
Mike's going to talk when we get to agenda item number 10.
Okay, so you want to hold off till then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you for coming to the meeting. I'll start coming to yours, by the way. All right. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have any changes?
We will strike number 12, the Jordan Park Playground renovation.
Okay.
The representative from Little Tykes Commercial is still working on sourcing the equipment and some other things, so she wasn't able to get it back to us for today.
All right. Sounds good. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as noted.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, all opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, commissioners' comments. I want to say, and I know, I believe you're the commissioner for the police department.
It was, yeah.
I can't say enough of the support that those guys gave us on June 30th. I tried to go over and talk to the chief today, and he'll be out, and I'll be out of town till probably the 5th of August. But I do plan on going over here and telling my sincere thanks for, I think it was one of the best events I've ever seen in Zion. I mean, the band was awesome. The fireworks were spectacular. We came out of it with 0 incidents, and that goes for our rangers and the park or park staff. Everybody just did such an amazing job in such a big event, and I from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank each and every one, especially the police department and the rangers. Thanks.
You did a great job.
Anybody else have any comments?
I got a couple. I agree with Bill 100%. You guys did a great job before, after. My dad's son, Jesse, did they work all night and in spotless? I'm like, did they go home that night? Did you clean up that night?
I mean, Todd had crews that started that night, probably worked till midnight or 12:30, and then back again at 7 o'clock or so, hitting it right away. So,
Todd, you staff did amazing cleanup. My
Yeah,
dad
good job.
thought there'd be a mess. The next day it was spotless.
yeah, they look good. They did a good job.
Kay, you two people are very nice. When I go over there, they talk to me, get to know me. They are well behaved. They do a great job.
I'll let them know.
Yeah.
We got an outstanding park staff, and I fully support them, and I think they do a great job at every event we've had. And I've been I mean, Mr. McDowell was the president when I was on the board, and it's just, it just keeps going on and on and on. So thanks for everything you guys do. Okay, anything from the attorney?
Nope.
All right. All right, the treasurer's report, I'll make a motion that we approve the paid bills.
I make a motion that we pay the unpaid bills in the amount of $172,102.40 and the total paid bills of $438,537.83 for a grand total to be approved of $610,640.23.
I second
I
that.
have a second. Kay, could you please read the roll call?
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Magiera, Commissioner Rivers, President Hartnett.
Aye. Executive report?
Yep. Okay, so I mean, as we had already touched on today, the first thing I wanted to talk about in June was our Independence Day celebration. You know, as we all have commented on, I think it was a great event for the community. Some of the questions that maybe we got was, why did we do it on Thursday, June 30th? So just a quick explanation on that. It aligned well with our concert series being on Thursdays. Additionally, over the past couple years, you know, fireworks shooters haven't had any business. So, you know, a lot of those individuals have gone out of business because there were no festivals, there were no concerts during the last couple of years of COVID. So we felt fortunate, honestly, to even be able to find a fireworks shooter. And then if you want that show on a Friday or Saturday or even the 4th of July, you're looking at easily 50% more, if not double. So we thought it just made good sense to do it on Thursday, June 30th. Additionally, an event like that takes a lot of planning.
Oh, yeah.
So when we were in this planning stage of February, March, whatever, you know, COVID numbers were still high, so we were, you know, a little tentative about having a large event, but we thought it was important to have an Independence Day celebration for the community. So again, you know, planning on that goes well into advance. So I would say that would be the only kind of question that we had in regards to it. Otherwise, we received a ton of positive feedback, you know, both on social media or in person, people just telling staff what a great time and what a great night they had.
Yeah, that guy's arms hurt that held the flag, too. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing from top to bottom was impressive.
It
You know,
was
there
an
was a
awesome-
ton of
awesome
planning.
event.
Feel very fortunate that it was a nice night, safe night, and, you know, a lot of positive feedback on it.
Yes.
We also did the gypsy moth sprays in Shiloh Park. You know, as the board had approved for that aerial application for the gypsy moth sprays, they were conducted on June 3rd and June 10th. We got a lot of questions and calls during the time when those aerial applications were occurring about all of the larvae that was coming down from the oak trees in Shiloh Park. And just wanted to point out, you know, toward the maybe second to last page or so, Todd did a nice job, had an exchange with a resident who was questioning kind of like what was going on, and she thought it was actually a gypsy moth infestation, but we explained to her that was just a result of the treatment, and actually we were, you know, doing our jobs as stewards of the park and conserving it, and it was the right thing to do at the right time. So I did put that, you know, that positive interaction toward the back of the packet for the board to read that email exchange. Which again goes in line with what I was talking about earlier, you know, months earlier about just like positive feedback with residents, right, and providing good customer service and good positive interaction with the park district. Also, in our ongoing efforts, you know, to provide a safe environment, we're continually assessing, you know, safety throughout the district, all aspect of safety for staff and patrons. We met with our security camera company. That does a lot of our cameras, but we have separate vendors for our access control and our buildings alarms. We're looking at integrating all of those into one solution, and also looked at things like, you know, unfortunately when you hear about the Highland Park shooter, he accessed his location from a ladder, right? So then we went out and evaluated the ladder that's on the side of the building here and the potential for someone to be able to climb that ladder. So we're going to, you know, increase the height of the cage that's on that so nobody can climb that. We also looked at some of the secure access points for the doors that lead into our facilities. You know, we have some random ones that frankly nobody uses. They're more like fire exits, but we want to be sure, you know, like in the wake of the Uvalde shooting where a door was propped open and that person got into the facility through a propped door. We're looking at adding alarms to the door sensors to see again, to be alerted if a door is propped open. So again, more to come on that, but it's just some of the things that we're constantly thinking about and evaluating and assessing. Also in the packet on the agenda to be approved later tonight is the Herman Park HVAC RTU, which will bring much needed air conditioning to the gym in that facility, which I know has been needed for a long time. So we can talk about that when we get to that item. Jordan Park Playground, we are working with a representative from a firm called Park Creation. We were referred to them by Waukegan Park District that we have a good relationship with. They are a Little Tykes commercial rep and have done a lot of playgrounds in the area in different parks and park districts. So we are working with them. They've been extremely busy. Like everything else, it's very hard to get playground equipment at this time. And so we're still working on the design of that, hoping to bring it to the board, next month to approve that playground renovation at Jordan, which is on our, list of playgrounds that we do, at least once a year to try to continually upgrade playground structures.
In Jordan Playground, is that by the maintenance shop?
Yeah, it's out.
Off of 173, closer to State Line Road.
21st
Somewhat.
Street in Joanna and Joppa.
Yeah, off of Lorelei, back right behind
Yeah,
Are you talking about
Jordan Park.
Jordan Park?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So, Lorelei Drive as it goes north
Yeah.
towards 9th Street, the last couple of streets on the west side, dead end at Jordan Park.
okay.
And the other side also has access to it.
Alright.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Anything else?
so that's all for my executive director report.
All right.
The next item.
Any questions from the commissioners? All right. The next one is the OSLED.
Yep. So, we were granted the OSLED grant from the Department of Natural Resources, which is the Open Space Land Acquisition and Development Grant administered by IDNR. Governor Pritzker announced it a couple weeks ago. If you maybe saw a press release, it was announced on July 8th. This is a grant that we had submitted for Shiloh Park. Yep. And so we worked with Hitchcock Design Group on the grant application. We were very fortunate and very happy to be awarded $400,000, which will match in the amount of probably about $450,000 to complete that project, which will be a resurfacing of all of the courts out there, the basketball courts. It will also do a replacement of the shelter behind the washrooms. It's not going to actually cover the playground. That's a separate one that we have in progress with Joyce Mason's office. But yeah, I think it will be a great upgrade and renovation of that area out there, a much needed upgrade. And to bring $400,000 of state dollars into this community is awesome. So we're really proud of that. And again, like I said, we're still working with Joyce Mason's office on the DCEO grant, which will be another $400,000 hopefully to just redo the actual playground there in Shiloh Park. So yeah, this is the full write-up. You can see that we were awarded the $400,000 on page 3. That was for the grant cycle of last year, so the state's obviously a little bit behind. We're going to submit a second project for the next round of OSLED grants. Todd and I have a call on Wednesday, again with a representative from Hitchcock Design, to submit another project for the next round of OSLED grants, which this funding amount in total, which was distributed, was about $30 million. I believe they have about $57 million to distribute in the next round. So we are optimistic that if we could submit a good application, we may get another, $400,000 or so, and that grant application would be towards David Park.
Well, good job to your staff because, when you submit these things, obviously they have to be well written, and so, good job to your staff for the write-ups and getting it approved.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something, obviously Maryland put in place and had been working on with Hitchcock Design, and one of the reasons, again, beneficial to remain in contact with her. I've just asked her a few questions about things to make sure that the process is smooth and that it keeps moving along well. But yeah, it's great, and it's gonna take some time for the whole process to get through. Grants always take a while to work through. There's a lot of permitting. There's a lot of reports, compliance reports back and forth. Again, this project was specifically written for Shiloh Park, so I've already seen people say, "Oh, I hope they spend the money over here or over here." It's like, we can't.
I've made a note.
It's very detailed.
I've made a note, when I'm looking for funding for this project, that if we have an OSLAT grant,
Yeah.
$400,000.
Yeah.
Looking
I'd
outside,
like to amend my proposal.
looking outside of Chicago itself, in Cook County,
Right.
the largest grant that was given was $400,000, so we got the largest amount possible.
Correct. Yep. We did.
Awesome.
Yep, we did.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's great for the community. It'll make a tremendous impact, and great for the park district, for the residents, for the taxpayers. I mean, all around, it's just a win-win. So,
All right, anything else?
nope.
Any questions from the commissioners?
No.
Sir, I want to apologize. Could you please introduce yourself?
I can,
Okay.
but I'll let him. He's my friend.
Joe,
Okay. All right. I apologize for being rude. I didn't mean to.
Can I point you out? You don't mind?
What?
He's a retired lieutenant colonel in the Army. He was my former commander. He's running for county board.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Good deal.
Thank you
I
for
met him
coming.
the other night.
Well,
All right.
People in Lake County like their parks.
Yeah,
I still have a 6099 zip code.
Well, I appreciate you coming to the meeting, and don't be a stranger. I mean, come anytime you'd like.
And outside
Okay.
of Sherry and Mr. McDowell, Commissioner McDowell, Colonel Joe Heim has known me the longest. Even longer than you.
Wow, that's quite a feat.
And did you want to introduce yourself as
Maybe.
well?
My name is Shirley Jackson Adam. I spearhead the Esther's Well. We meet every day at 10, 14, except Sundays. And we go out to the Esther's Well and pray and lift up praises to the Lord. So I was asked to spearhead it.
Well,
Thank you for coming.
thank you for
Shirley, what
coming.
was your last name again?
Jackson Adam.
Jackson.
Okay, well, that brings us on to the next one, which is the Esther Wells. So, Mr. McDowell,
Yep.
all right.
floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've written out a little bit of a proposal of what we want to present to the park board tonight. Does everybody have a copy of this?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
I don't plan on reading it verbatim, but I would like to just kind of walk through it.
Please
and
do.
Explain our proposal here. So, on July 12th, 2022, a group of interested citizens, and including Executive Director Bradley and our city administrator and township supervisor and myself and a few other interested citizens met at this location at Esther's Well to talk about the possibility of beautification and restoration. And as a result of that meeting, it was decided that a proposal should be presented to the park board for two main objectives. And one is to beautify the area surrounding the well, and the second is to restore the well basin, making it into a fountain. So that's what I'd like to present. And I put a little history here. This is a picture taken from the Leaves of Healing publication, which started in 1894 and ran all the way to the mid-80s, actually. And we have every single copy of the Leaves of Healing, and this one is from July 19, 1902, and it commemorates the consecration of what they call the Shiloh Park Spring, or the Shiloh Spring in the park, and that was done on July 12, 1902. So Sherry had the idea that we ought to reconvene a meeting exactly 120 years after this consecration to talk about the restoration. Of course, this isn't the first time that concerned citizens have brought this to the attention of the Park District. Well, I mean, years, Bob Pushy tried to redig that well back in the 70s, so.
Oh, okay.
It,
Way before
it
my
has
time.
been on the mind of people, why can't we restore and, make this well area, this historical area in Zion look nicer? So it's been thought of before, so I'm just going to say this is another attempt at it, and I hope we're successful this time. There are always a lot of roadblocks in the way, and I'm not sure what's going to happen, but at least we'd like to begin the process and see how it goes. So what I found interesting in kind of digging into the history a little bit, it actually was urban legend, which my grandfather and my father told me something about that well, that it was an artesian well. Well, it really wasn't. It never was. I don't know where that idea came from, but a lot of people think that. As you can see here, based on historical records, the well was 1,569 feet deep. So it was a pretty deep well.
Wow.
Bob Pushy said he drilled down 300 feet. I wonder if he knew that the well was actually over 1,500 feet deep.
I know, he said 1,000, right? He always.
I guess he did say
Yeah, he
1,000,
said it's
didn't he?
1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 feet.
So that's a
Deeper than
pretty
he thought,
deep
yeah.
well.
Wow.
So the reason it's called Esther's Well is because of a tragic event that took place in the life of the Dowie family. Their only daughter, Esther, died tragically in an accident. She actually was burned, and 3/4 of her body was burned, and then she succumbed to that. And it really hit the founder of the city, John Alexander Dowie, very hard. You can read what he said at the consecration about this, and he uses a lot of biblical metaphors, but what he says really comes from Psalm 42, which is a psalm for those that are distraught and depressed, and he actually he takes phrases out of that psalm, and it is part of what he said. And I think what he was trying to communicate is his anguish and depression and those type of feelings at the tragic death of his daughter, and that's why it's been called Esther's Well, because of what happened to his daughter. And since that time, Esther's Well has been a place that many have come to when they wanted to get answers to some of life's questions and seek out the creator of the universe, to pray to God, and to ask and to struggle and wrestle in prayer. And that's what this place has been known for. My father used to take me to that well to pray, especially when he was going through a very difficult time in his life. We used to go there, myself and my brother, and that's where I learned it was artesian. And my brother, who is a missionary in the Philippines, whenever he comes back, he goes to that place to pray. And there are people that there are certain places that mean a lot to them, and they go to those places to pray, to seek refuge, and to find solace in their God and Savior. And this is one of those places, and it has historic roots in Zion, and people still do it today, don't they? Sure.
Yes.
So, in light of the tragedy that took place in Highland Park, I don't know which one of you two had the idea to gather there to pray, but one of you two did. And so now, we don't know when it's going to end exactly, but every day at 10:14, except for on Sunday, there are groups of people that gather at that well to pray for the Roberts family that suffered injuries in that shooting. And so that's how this place has been used. And so what we want to propose to the park board is consider beautifying the area and then restoring the well. So in terms of beautification, actually you can see some pictures here that Susan Didon took. She's related to the We Love Zion Facebook page. She's one of the administrators. I think she maybe even started it. I'm not sure. And then, what I thought I heard at the meeting is that the Daughters of the Revolution also had a part to play in just cleaning that area up. And so you can see the difference before and after what they did at that well, which is a really good first step. But these two groups, the We Love Zion Facebook page group and the Daughters of the Revolution, would like to do the beautification work, including putting benches around and making a plaque that just commemorates what happened in the consecration of this well. And also, I added this to their agenda to create a pathway from the parking lot, probably at the Fort Shiloh pool, over to the place. So they don't know that yet, but you know, that's also on their plate to do fundraising for. And the second thing is to do the restoration work of the well. If you go over there today and take a look, you'll see that the apron around the well itself is crumbling and cracking and broken up in many places. And then the basin itself is also cracked. So there'll have to be some kind of restoration that's done. We're not exactly sure the best approach. Tear it all out. I would advocate for leaving the basin because it's the historical part of it. But to do some kind of restoration, either tearing it all out or patching the areas that can be patched. Well, one of the unique aspects of this is it has some history behind it, and that's a unique thing. And I think people like the fact that they're walking on the cement that was poured 120 years ago, and so there's that aspect of it. But what we would like to do is get some estimates of how much it's going to cost to restore that, and then of course present that to the park board. So we're in terms of restoration, we would like to create a restoration plan, and I wish I had some pictures to show you, but we haven't been able to create that plan yet because we think our first step is to approach you and ask, do you even want us to proceed in a project like this? So if the board's not in favor of it, then we would probably just not do it. If you are interested in us creating some kind of a proposal with some design aspects and then some costs associated with that, then we would go to the work of getting those bids and estimates and seeing what it might look like, which we would like to then present to the board for your approval. If you like the design and what we've come up with, or if you'd like to change it in some way. Originally, we were thinking that it would be privately funded, but now that I see that you've got the OSLID grant, I'm not quite sure.
Well,
you might want to kick some, if you're going to redo the bike path, you might want to just swing that just a little bit more or something like that.
well, first of all, I'm choked up. This is I know that Zion has a lot of history behind it, the city itself, and this is a big part of it. And then let's add on to the tragedy that happened in Highland Park to one of our citizens and one of our. To me, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to throw it out to the other board members, but to me, I think this is a great program. I think we should push forward with it. Find out, what it is going to cost us to do it. And you know what? This may turn into something big. And please don't take it negatively, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this may turn into something, who knows? And that's my goal. And I think it's great that these people are thinking about this. I had no idea, and I've lived here for, a few years. I had no idea about this. And I definitely, when I come back, I definitely want to go see it. I mean, this is something it's got me choked up. I'll be honest. It's, and I commend the people that put this together. I mean, good on you. So I'm going to turn it over to the other board members and let them make some comments. And
reading further, I see that part of the idea is to run water from pond and electricity so that it actually has a fountain in it. I like that idea, but I'm also a dreamer. You know, what if we hit 1,600 feet and had an actual well? You know, nothing's impossible if we don't have a drain. I mean, we could set the dream out there, and if people want to get towards it, you know, then, hey, you know, we can dig. If not, the cheaper option would more than likely be to run water and electricity. But if we could have water from the ground where it originally came from, I like that idea.
It is a nice idea. We did have somebody from the health department at the meeting. So whether or not we actually could dig a well, is there a question mark with that?
So the biggest issue is that it taps into the water system downstream, so there's all kinds of rules and regulations with digging a well. That we have a lot of hurdles that we would have to overcome.
That's Lake County,
My opinion is that it would be safer to do that than to bring over water.
It is the kind of thing that if we do tap, if we're allowed to tap, I didn't mention that, but yes, that is part of it, that we would want to see if we could tap into the electric service at Port Shiloh and then water from Port Shiloh. But it is the kind of, we would need electric for the well, so we need that connection anyway. And if down the road it seems feasible to dig a well, then we just cut the supply from Port Shiloh, use that. This is probably the quickest way to get a functioning, having water in that, in that basin, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Good, Justin.
Like, I like it pretty much like this. I lived here 44 years. I never knew about this. I think that would be awesome for the park if we bring that back to life with the round benches and all that.
I'm kind of upset that, you know, it took this long to get this thing going.
Only 120 years.
Yeah, I'm not that old, Mike.
I just came back from a trip to Europe, and you know, 120 years of history is nothing.
No, I get it, but I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea. I think what we should do is just get a proposal put together.
So what we were seeking here tonight was for you to entertain a motion for the park board to give approval to move forward with the project.
Right, and then come up with you know,
Right.
We'll put a little timeline here, so if tonight you do end up approving it, then we would create a proposal, get some bids and costs, and you know what it would look like, and I hope we can do it in this time frame, and then come back to the park board with that proposal so you
Right.
can see it, and then if you approve it, then we would begin with the fundraising part of it, and I don't know if we're going to have sticker shock when we see how much it costs, or what's going to happen at that point, but I've put, you know, obviously several months here for fundraising. Hopefully we'll be able to raise enough to start the project in spring of next year.
All right, well,
Do you have a
again,
name for the group? Do you have a name for the group of the people that are putting this together?
No, we don't.
It's hard to make a motion without it.
well, I think,
The healing well, yeah.
I think what we do is just make a motion that we approve the moving forward of the Esther Wells restoration. And then we'll go from there, and you know, when you guys come up with the plan, then we'll just come back to it and take a look at it. And hopefully everything will be okay, and we can definitely move forward. So,
In doing so, we're asking for permission then to access whatever electrical service and whatever, you know, water service you have over there, because the contractors will want to be in the building, want to take a look at it, and you know, take measurements and pictures and all that. So if you're all right with that, we'd have to arrange that with you whenever we can
Right.
do that.
Right.
well, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we,
Yeah.
go ahead.
One thing, I'm okay with it, but when they come, would you let everyone know when they show up?
Oh, yeah,
So
for sure.
he not like what's going on.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for Esther's Well restoration, and then getting all the budgets together and then bring it to us.
I make a motion that we approve an exploratory group of citizens at large for the beautification and restoration of Esther's Well in Shiloh Park, with the purpose of bringing back a proposal for said restoration.
I second.
All right, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carried. Thank you again for coming to the meeting. I mean, this is a shocker, because we don't usually get these many people showing up. So, thank you for coming.
When you do, it's usually not good.
That's a fact. That's true.
Yeah.
Could I say something?
Yes, ma'am,
Absolutely.
please do. Absolutely.
Well, I would like to say, when Sherry presented me with being the overseer or whatever of it, and she was like, think about it, pray about it. I was like, I ain't got to pray about it, because, you know, this is something I want to do, because the tragedy that happened there, and it's happening all over.
Yes.
And so it just touched my heart to be able to give me the courage to come, and because I come at like 10 minutes early and set out the little arrows so that people know where to come or whatever. And then we have prayer, and then people can speak what's on their heart. And it's like, it's healing already, because Cooper is getting better. And the situation is getting better, because we are the light. And so when people see us doing this, they're going to want to know, what's going on over there?
And that's what I was saying about hopefully this will get a little bit bigger and turn into something that's, you know.
It's getting bigger already.
Yeah.
Word of mouth, people seeing us doing this, and I'm just telling everybody about it, because I'm just so excited to be used to do such a thing as this, because I lost my grandson in February of this year.
Oh, wow.
He was found at the beach, was shot in the head, and we don't know what happened. So it really touched my heart, because I have grandkids, and I love my grandkids and kids. So this is just another thing that really just spearheaded me to do that. And I have no fear at all. So it's really been a blessing to me to go forth with this.
Well, like I said, we appreciate you coming. We're definitely sorry to hear about your grandson. That's tragic. And you know, we'll do whatever we can to support you. Trust me. And I want to thank you again for coming.
Yes.
I mean, that means a lot to me.
Oh, this means a lot. Every morning I'll be so excited to come here. Because we came here the Saturday that rained, it was 3 of us. But Jesus said, where 2 or 3 are gathered, I'm in the midst. So we was out there in the rain with our umbrellas and everything, just praying like we normally would.
Good. Good for
She
you.
was like, do you think we should come? I asked her, and then I was like, yeah, why not? We go everywhere else in the rain. So.
Right. But
Make a suggestion that you come up with a name such as Esther's Well Restoration Committee or Project or something like that, just so that people have a identity with it.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm on the state accreditation team, and I go around accredited park districts in the state. And believe me, this is another thing I can bring up that we've done, and because I know I bring up a lot with Shepherd, and I also raised the flag with the staff that we have here at the Zion Park District. And this will just be another thing for me to brag about Zion. So, thank you.
Yay. Next step.
Next step.
Thank you all
Okay.
for coming.
Thank you again. All right, bid
Yep.
2022-05.
Thank you for coming. We'll keep in touch.
Don't be a stranger. Mike.
All right.
This used to
I
be
was
your-
going to say, you never say that to
See
me.
you.
this used to be your own stomping ground.
Please be
remember?
a stranger.
Bye.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right, take care, guys.
Bye, love.
Um,
Yep.
Bid 2022-05.
Yep, so bid 2022-05 was not included in the packet that was sent out because Todd just finished up the bidding process. I believe it was this week. This is for, again, as I mentioned, the HVAC rooftop unit for Herman Park Gym. We received 3 bids, with the low bid being from McDonough Mechanical. So McDonough also won the bid to do all of this work right, on the other side of this wall here in the Leisure Center, so they've already started. So we do have a good relationship with McDonough. So we'd like to have the board approve McDonough's bid of $70,367 for Herman Park's rooftop unit.
Any questions? All right, I will entertain a motion that we approve bid 2022-05.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve bid 2022-05 for the Herman Center HVAC rooftop unit and award it to McDonough Mechanical Services Incorporated for the amount of $70,367.
Second.
I have a second. Kay, please read the roll call.
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Magiera? Commissioner Rivers? President Hartman?
Aye. We're going to go in executive session.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll entertain a motion that we go to an executive session.
I make a motion to executive session for improvement of the ball to wheel. We know to the positive section 5L 30407-1-R for the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
I'll second.
I have a second. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you for
Colonel,
coming.
thanks for